I've thought this for years and I'm so happy that more spotlight is being put onto this. The 3 p.m. broadcast blackout rule is outdated and pointless. In case you aren't aware, in the United Kingdom, it's prohibited for football matches to be broadcast on television on Saturdays from 2:45 p.m. until 5:15 p.m. And this is why on Saturdays you never get to watch any matches at 3 p.m. And have you noticed that there's always an early kickoff on a Saturday at 12:30 and then one later in the evening, 5:30 p.m. But the massive block of matches played at 3 p.m. you don't get to see unless you're in the stadium. And the debate around this rule has resurfaced because this Saturday, 3 p.m, Cristiano Ronaldo will be making his second debut for Manchester United against Newcastle, and unless you physically go to Old Trafford, viewers in the UK aren't going to be allowed to legally watch it. Before I go into my thoughts on this rule, I want you guys to comment below what are your thoughts on the 3 p.m. broadcast blackout rule. Are you in favour of it? Do you think it's outdated and redundant? And also do make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel because that really helps me out. Now for me, the rule is outdated and unfair to viewers in the UK, but let me explain why the rule exists before I go into my reasoning for why I don't like it. UEFA offers its members the chance to pick a 2.5-hour time slot on the weekend in which football is not permitted to be broadcast. This is under Article 48 of its statutes, and the reason why it was brought in was because of the huge success of media broadcasting of football, and the worry was that this would take eyes away from the lower leagues and in particular the grassroots level of football. And the rule has been prevalent in England since 1987 when the FA and broadcasters decided to block out 2:45 to 5:15 p.m. on Saturdays. Now the original idea made sense and it was brilliant. The rule is designed to discourage people from just watching games that are broadcast and actually go and physically support a club. And the idea especially is that people would go and support physically a lower league side. And for all lower league and non-league sides, match day income and gate receipts are essential in order for them to survive. So the rule is designed to safeguard attendances, particularly at these lower league sides. But is that really how it works? And especially in 2021, is that really how people think? I think it made sense over 3 decades ago, but the usefulness of the rule has been lost now. Especially with the younger fan base, realistically, how many younger fans are going to choose to physically attend a non-league game or a lower league side game in person because of this broadcast blackout, as opposed to just illegally streaming it or going to a pub where the pub is also illegally streaming it. Also, a bit of a side note, it's still legal to broadcast the matches via radio, so I'm not really 100% certain why it's okay for pure audio to be broadcast, but not a combination of video and audio. But that's just another avenue and alternative to physically going to the game. People are going to choose to stay at home and listen to the radio rather than physically go to a match in a lot of instances. So by that logic, why don't we also ban radio broadcasts? There's also no clear evidence to suggest that broadcasting games significantly impacts physical match attendances, and the people in charge aren't willing to experiment with that. There is, however, clear evidence that the number of people using illegal streams to watch the blacked out 3 p.m. games is on the rise. So the rule essentially promotes illegal streaming, and it's a very extreme comparison to make, but it does remind me of 1920s America and Prohibition, where alcohol was banned, but instead of it having the desired effect of no one drinking alcohol, all it did was create speakeasies and allowed for gangsters to control the flow of alcohol, so it just increased crime. Based on that, the rule is outdated and it doesn't account for the modern age. Not even foreign matches are allowed to be broadcast during that time period, which is extremely odd because it's not unusual for many foreign matches to start at 5 p.m. English time, so that means that if there's, say, an Italian match that you want to watch, you'd have to wait until 15 minutes into the match before you actually get to see it. And that actually did happen to Ronaldo's debut for Juventus. The match kicked off at 5 p.m. English time, but English viewers didn't get to watch the game until the 15th minute. Moreover, because it's only England, Scotland and Montenegro who have decided to implement Article 48, the rest of the world gets to watch all those matches. The rest of the world gets to see English Premier League games at 3 p.m. on a Saturday, but people in England can't. Now, maybe I'm being selfish. Maybe if the rule was abolished, it would detrimentally impact the lower leagues and grassroots. Maybe attendances would plummet, and maybe that would be absolutely detrimental in terms of the revenues for these clubs. But the evidence from other nations like Germany, where there is no blackout rule, doesn't support that. It was great over lockdown to have all the Premier League matches broadcast, and I yearn for an age when we're allowed to have that again. But there's currently no appetite from the governing bodies to change the rule. If the fear of the lower league sides is that they're going to lose out on money, then why not implement a rule or a deal in the broadcast where you apportion a certain amount of the revenues from the broadcast to the lower league sides, to the non-league sides, and you basically make up the difference of any money lost, assuming there even is any money lost, from people supposedly not turning up to games who would have turned up to games. That way the smaller clubs don't miss out, and the broadcasters can no doubt make even more money from more adverts being shown during peak time, so they'll be happy, and the average viewer is going to be happy because they've got more football games to watch. The rule isn't going anywhere anytime soon, but in my opinion it's outdated. It suited the 80s and the 90s and probably most of the noughties as well. But guess what? Streaming is a thing now. Whether you want to do that yourself illegally, whether you want to go to a pub who's doing it illegally, people are going to find a way to watch the game. There's no evidence it impacts attendances at the lower league sides, and especially with the younger generation who are going to be the next main generation of football fans, I don't know how many of them realistically are thinking, oh, there's no game being broadcast at 3 p.m, therefore I'll go support this lower league side I don't really have any affiliation with, instead of just going, nah, I'll just stream it illegally. That's my thoughts on it. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you next time.